Hey there guys, what's going on? Today we're back with another episode of testing out your custom classes in Modern Warfare because we did actually receive a class to test out recently. If you don't know much about this series, basically I'm taking a look at your custom classes, good or bad. They're mostly bad because it's pretty funny to give me bad classes and then watch me suffer, and then grading them out of 10 in an arbitrary scale that we make up pretty much on the spot. Today's scale is the demonetized logo out of 10. Now, initially when I came up with this idea for the series, I thought that you guys would be super nice to me and give me all of your best classes. Now, I don't really know why I thought that, because this is the internet after all, and they're literally the worst classes in the game that you give me just to make me sad. But they are very, very funny, so if you do want your class to be featured as one of these videos, make sure you leave a comment with your horrible or great classes. I definitely do accept good classes too, and I'll definitely get around to testing it. Let's try and get this one to 10 likes for a class you've probably never used before, but it's still super effective. The support from you guys has been absolutely magnificent recently. You guys are super fantastic. We did recently pass 980 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. We are super close to 1,000 subscribers, so make sure you do click that subscribe button with the notifications turned on if you have not done so already, so you don't miss any more of my videos. Alright, so the class we are looking at today is described as a no recoil M4 class here. And I know what you're thinking, that sounds pretty tasty. Well, you would absolutely be right. This class does come to us from Jake Kaskin. Kaskin, he's a good boy. I'll always see him around in the comment section, so shout out to him for this absolutely sick class setup, letting me actually make these series and these videos, because they are probably the most fun I get to have with you guys. Now, Jake here was actually surprisingly kind, especially with giving us the M4 to work with. So today we are rocking the monolithic suppressor, the M16 Grenadier barrel, the commando foregrip, the 60 round mags, and the rubberized grip tape. Now, Jake here has actually been surprisingly kind, like I said. With this setup of attachments, you can clearly see what he's going for here. We've basically got all the recoil controlling attachments, bar maybe the compensator in the muzzle slot. But I feel like with the control coming from 3 out of the 5 attachments, we will be very, very accurate with this. We get increased damage range and sound suppression from the monolithic suppressor, damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control from the M16 Grenadier barrel, recoil stabilization and aiming stability from the commando foregrip, 60 round mags, which means you can spray pretty much until the end of time, and the rubberized grip tape for even more recoil control. Now, this class will be incredibly accurate, but it is going to be very, very slow. We're going to have a hard time sort of playing very aggressively, so we're going to have to sort of play in a much more slower style than we usually do. I do like to play aggressively in this game, and sometimes it feels like I'm the only one who feels that way. But with this class setup, we're going to have to become what I hate the most, a camper. If you can't beat them, join them, I guess. For the rest of the class setup here, my sidearm is going to be the Renetti pistol, as it's probably the best sidearm in the game at the moment. And we've set it up like this with the MK3 burst mod, the 1mW laser, the lightweight trigger, the 27 round mags, and the Akimbo perk. This is a pretty fantastic option if anyone does rush you or gets too close. You can also take like a rocket launcher or something similar if you do want to be a proper bro. Perk 1, we do have EOD, so we don't die to those explosives. If we are going to be camping, we're going to need to be explosive resistant. The number 1 enemy of the camper is the Explodey Boys. Perk 2, we do have a restock, so we can continue to get new pieces of lethal and tactical equipment every 25 seconds. And Perk 3 is of course shrapnel for that extra explosive. The lethal for me is going to be the proximity mine, and the tactical, of course, is the stim shot to get that extra life per life. Overall, I think this is going to be a pretty good class. It should be really stable, and we'll be able to pick off targets at even the longest ranges. It'd even be suitable in like Ground War or maybe even Warzone, depending on how you do want to play. It's definitely not how I'd set up my M4A1 class, which I'll be making another video very soon for the Season 3 update to the M4 class, because it is an actual beastly class setup, one of the best in the game for sure. I feel like we will be far too effective camping though, and it'll probably make me very, very upset just picking off people from super far away while never ever moving. But I'm going to test this for a bit today, and I'll let you know how I get on. We'll give it a rating out of 10 demonetization logos out of 10 once we're done. I'll see you soon. Alrighty guys, so we're going to try and do our best to show off this class setup with the no recoil M4 on Ramaza. Be a little bit tricky, just sort of not too many places to like post up on this map. I guess we'll try and hold that building there and maybe try and keep them from coming to C, but we'll do our best. You pretty much can't go up that way. If you're trying to push this way, you sort of have to really rely on coming up into the building, taking this particular power position, and then sort of trying to hold it best you can, really. So we check our betties and we basically hold the position until we die. We can, even if we're feeling particularly brave. Wow, what wonderful timing! Like, you can always trust this game to do bullshit things like that. Just you'll pick a position and you'll decide that it is time to move out of that position, and then yeah, it's time for somebody to peek out, like every time. But now once we sort of have this position under control, we can pretty much sort of stop the flow of people getting from out of this back corridor and then over the jump wall, hopefully. As long as they don't flank around the entire left-hand side, and then push behind us, because that would be bad. We can also push up here. So exactly like this. They're capping C. Because somebody didn't get the left-hand side of the map sorted, and now they just walk behind us and cap, which is just awesome. And we can't really have that, so we're going to go take it back. What do I think about this class? I think it's neat. I think it's actually really fun. Just one of those things where you can't really go too wrong. Too wrong with an M4 class. Basically, you just pick a good set of attachments and then throw them on the M4, and it makes the gun very, very powerful. One thing that I would say is the gun does feel like it is probably 1 or 2 mobility attachments away from being like unstoppable. Like it really does feel like you are missing like a no stock or even a stipple grip tape at this point. Like pretty much anything to just increase the mobility, handling and stuff like that, just a tad, because it is noticeable. Oh, I knew I'd get pushed from behind. It is noticeably slower than sort of another M4 class setup that I've got, which I believe is probably one of the best in the game. The one that I've set up is pretty good. I'll try and push in through the middle building here, see if we can pick off anybody coming. Alright. Ah, somebody got him. Somebody got the guy we were dancing with, and that's fine. How is nobody over there defending, like, C at all? We'll get B, I suppose. Try and hold. This is a hard position to really, yeah, like that. Hard position to sort of cap the B flag from, just because there's so many different angles where you can get picked off from. And apparently these guys are doing quite well, and we aren't doing so crash hot. We'll just get shot here. But yeah, again, the universal rule of Call of Duty. As soon as you decide that it's time to push up, somebody will peek their head out. Just pretty much every time. But yeah, the best thing I can say about this gun is that it is exceptionally easy to shoot people at decent range. So yeah, real mid-range fights, mid to long-range fights, you are pretty dominant in. Ones like that. That kind of distance is really easy to just pick people off just for fun. And you're super efficient at that distance. Somebody's on the roof, and there's somebody going to be coming through that way there. But apparently, literally every person on the map is in this little building, and they're capping C. Again. Oh god, on fire. Fire hot, fire hot. Fair enough. Probably shouldn't have pushed around the back like that. Maybe should have just tried to hold it a little bit longer. Oh god. That's fun. We'll bail. We gotta dip out. Can't just be sitting there the whole time. How do we not have any flags? Two of them are inside. Pick up a nice little triple on that one there. But yeah, this is basically your distance here. From there to there. From there to this door is basically your distance. And you're pretty effective at taking out people at this distance. And that's sort of what the M4 is really designed for. Taking out those middle distance targets. Pop, please do. No! Oh, we just walked in at the wrong time as he was shooting. What a decent little run there. It's not too, but apparently the airspace is too crowded, which is awesome. I think the rubberized grip tape is probably a very decent attachment to have on this gun. It is probably the one that is causing us to be slow, as it's sort of holding up that extra spot we would use for something that makes us move a little bit quicker. But again, it's just one of those sick recoil control attachments. If you threw on the compensator on this thing, you would be even more effective and sort of would be an actual laser beam, but this is still pretty much the limit of how far I'll go for recoil control. What is that dude doing? How is he just in our spawn? It's me. I'm taking B. You clown. I got B. I need to push up here. Okay, that was a bit dodgy. The old recoil control is good, but I'm bad, so... Ah. Yes, got the W, boys. We didn't do super fantastic. I mean, we got 34 and, like, what, 34 and, like, 15, maybe? So it's not the best game I've ever played, but I think it's a decent indication of what we can actually do with this no recoil M4 class. That was where he killed me on my kill streak, because I managed to basically, like, walk into the barrel of his gun. 34 and 8 is actually pretty good. I thought I died more than that. But yeah, I will have my final thoughts on this class setup very, very soon. Alrighty, so my final thoughts on Jake's M4 no recoil class setup. This is actually a really good class, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe the 60 round magazine is a little bit big. Maybe the 50 round mag would reduce some of the mobility loss as well. Maybe the rubberized grip tape is a little bit much, and we maybe chuck on that no stock just for that extra movement speed and aim down sight speed, because it is really, really sluggish with that particular combination of attachments. But that's all I'd really change about it. Like, and maybe even the Corvus Custom Marksman, depending on how much more mobile you want to be. Sort of, you do lose a little bit of range and accuracy with this, but again, this class is very, very serviceable, as most M4 classes typically are, unless you're using, like, I don't know, the Predator barrel, and then, like, the muzzle brake, and then, like, the 10 SOCOM rounds. Like, you can make a bad one, but it is very difficult to make a bad one. Anyway, I think we should rate this class 8 out of 10 demonetization logos out of 10. Not bad, a very, very good class, and one of the best ones that we've looked at so far, but still not at the very tip top of what I would design. Maybe an 8. I think an 8's pretty suitable. If you do want your class to be featured in one of these videos, make sure you do leave a comment down below, because I will get around to testing pretty much all of them for this series, because I'm running out of classes to do. But again, thank you very much for watching this one, guys. I do appreciate it, of course, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!